A very good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live Extra. Back at the true home of football, that is the Golden Palace of Molineux. I'm Mikey Burrows. As you can see, Lee Naylor alongside us and the latest fashion icon that is the Hall of Famer, Andy Thompson. If you've not been on my social media yet to see what this man is wearing today, I tell you, he has raised the bar.
He's gone for
in
it.
terms of press box fashion. This guy is
He's daft.
He's looking $1 million. Let's be honest with you. Like he's still playing. It's incredible. Anyway,
He's taking me out shopping
now. We have to be in a good mood, boys, because we're going to bring the mood right down immediately with discussion about Burnley. Tomo, have you calmed down yet after what you saw at Turf Moor last weekend?
Yeah, it's just frustration, isn't it, watching what was going on, and the amount of possession that we had never really hurt Burnley. That was the disappointment part about it. So, never really got behind Burnley. There was an opportunity there for us with the amount of possession that we had that we could hurt Burnley and get something out of it. But again, just all that possession, just a lapse in concentration, you end up conceding, which is not unfamiliar against playing against Burnley. But we've just got to do a lot better. So, today, I know we've changed the formation a little bit, but we've got to be looking to try and hurt teams and more importantly, get behind teams, because at the minute everything just seems to be in front of teams that we're playing.
It's funny, isn't it, sometimes, Lee Naylor, in terms of how people react to a defeat, because we went to St James's Park, and I think the common agreed principle is that we weren't that great on that Friday night, and Newcastle played really well. They had a lot of the ball. We struggled to keep hold of it. We lost the game. But we went to Burnley. We actually had an awful lot of the ball. We had more than 60% of it. We kept the ball. We got into good areas. We just didn't use it.
Yeah.
And then we still lose the game. And that, in a way, feels worse than it did at Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you can see the other teams putting a good performance, you sort of hold your hand up and say, like, look, we weren't good enough. They were better than us. But in terms of the Burnley result, when you have so much possession and so much dominance in a game, and then not to produce, what you want in goals, it's a problem, and people get frustrated with that.
We're going to talk in detail about some of the issues and possibly some of the reasons why Wolves are struggling to score goals at the minute. We'll also talk about team news and hear at length from Bruno about the situation we find ourselves in. But in many respects, Tomo, given the games that we still have to go, we've talked for a long time now about this potential European push. The teams above us keep stumbling. So even though we've lost the last two, we're not necessarily out of it, but today becomes must win, right?
Yeah, it is. And we said that against Burnley, didn't we, last week, that these are the games that you've got to win. You look at the games that we've got the top three, along with Norwich, the games that are left. And look, so you can see, like Liverpool, the way that Man City are miles ahead of everybody else in the way that the division. Okay, Chelsea are hit and miss at the moment with the results, what they're having. But yeah, you've got to take care of yourself, and that's one thing that we haven't done. We haven't been able to win games. We haven't been scoring enough goals, and for one reason or another. And we've said before, we've got to be clinical in that top third. Quality's got to be better in the top third, just to put some balls or crosses into an area where you know that your attackers are going to be, and that's what the big problem. They're creating something in that top third for us, and look. We've never been prolific goal scorers in this division anyway since we got into it. We've always struggled to score goals, but just recently, it's been more noticeable about the way that we played. Haven't really created a great deal. With all the possession that we had last week, I think Johnny had the only chance on target last week in the first half, and then we had a couple of half chances in the second half, but it's not good enough for a team that's trying to push for Europe.
In a way, Lee Naylor, would you rather be playing against teams who have something to play for at this stage? Looking at that final four games, we'll get on to Brighton in a second and some of the things coming through. But if we can win today, would you rather play teams who are involved in something rather than a side that has nothing to play for and can play with a bit of freedom sometimes? And that's when you end up seeing shocks at this time of year.
I think it's difficult on both sets of players where, you're after something and one team is and one team isn't. You know, and as you say, they can play with freedom. The ones that are not, it's difficult. For me, I always like playing under pressure. It made me better. Um, my performance seemed to go higher every time the pressure was on. Yeah, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to say, but for me, I'd probably say the ones that had nothing to play for, I'd rather play against.
Okay, well, that's an interesting point. Let's have both of you talk about this pressure, because a lot of fans will look at some of the performances in the games when Wolves have had a real opportunity, and we talk about the Arsenals and West Hams a couple of weeks back, and there've been a few others, haven't there, Tomo? Crystal Palace here a couple of weeks ago as well. When it's looked like it's on, Wolves have stumbled. Is that an issue with pressure, or is that something else?
Look, players from on with nails. So I used to enjoy playing under pressure. When you come and play at this place, Molineux, so like you're always under pressure, and I think that gives you an edge, and I think that helps your game. So I'll just think that the way that things have gone, have we performed to what we should be in? Possibly not. Have we got enough goals in this division where we should have pushed on? We haven't. But again, so look, you should be able to deal with these pressures. There's a lot of experienced players.
But
out
how
there.
does it affect you? Does it affect people differently within a team?
Well, I'm sure it does. I'm sure I can just go from a personal point of view. Say, I used to enjoy playing under pressure because, I thought that it just gives you that little bit more of an edge when you're playing. But like I say, you've got to go out there and you've got to try and establish yourself on a game. If that doesn't give you a buzz to play every weekend, because that's one of the biggest things when you finish, is missing that game. I know people say about missing the changing rooms, but that buzz of game day. So look, it's great playing, having training and the working hard, but there's nothing better than playing in a game for me. So like when you talk about players going out there and under pressure, I used to be nervous when I was just going out, but as soon as I get over that line, then you need to come into game mode.
Nails?
No, it does. It does affect people differently. I've seen people, in my team they've gone into hiding. They don't want the ball. They'll make runs they've never done before, and just to get away from the ball. Which is it's a bit strange to me that, but I've seen it happen.
Well, let's relive the pain from last Sunday. We will talk more. We'll have team news in just a second. We'll hear at length from Bruno of what he makes of the situation we find ourselves in. But here's the best of last Sunday. Oh, a little slip there. Hee-Chan Hwang nearly stole it from Collins. Does get possession, but couldn't find his way through. And then tried to slide rule a pass to Fabio Silva. But mistake. Jimenez striking goalwards. Comfortable save. McNeil cutting in field towards the corner of goal, into the penalty area. Still Dwight McNeil curling it high over the top and behind for a goal kick. Semedo coming forward to Wolves. Johnny into the penalty area. Johnny finding room. Good save. Did brilliantly, Johnny. Hee-Chan Hwang. Martinho fancies having a go from distance and drags the shot wide. Cork forwards to Brownhill, gets it back from Vidra. Brownhill now to McNeil, right hand side of the penalty area, back in field on his left foot, shooting and tipped over by Jose Sarr, who maybe just lost it in the flight for a second. Romain Saiss challenging, finding Hee-Chan Hwang. Again, a little short pass from him. He's not looked after the ball enough, the South Korean, today. He's done well this time though, and now he's driving on forwards. And he's got Semedo making the run. Here's Nelson Semedo! Good strike, good save. There's McNeil, plays it to Roberts on the right-hand side. Back in field to Dwight McNeil. On here, Weghorst. Weghorst right-hand side of the box. Low into Vidra, and it's turned in at the near post. And Burnley laid a tough ball. Semedo drifting in field. Martinho helping it in towards the box. 4 minutes going to be added on. Hee-Chan Hwang with the volley, straight down the middle, straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. So that was the frustration of Burnley. This is the lineup, and as you can see, that man on your screen, Ruben Neves, is back. Bruno told the media a couple of days ago that he would not be ready. Wow, was he telling fibs? Was he being a bit naughty in that press conference? Because Ruben Neves starts. Raul Jimenez drops to the bench. Reine Nori is in for Johnny on the left-hand side, a little bit more attacking. It means a front two of Fabio Silva and He Chan Huang up top, three-man midfield. There is a lot to go on in terms of this team news, but let's start with Neves. Andy Thompson, surprised?
A little bit. So like a nice surprise. So like that he's possibly a little bit further in May when he was going to be coming
people
back.
talked about him not playing again this season.
Yeah. So look, it just shows you that he wants to play, and that's great from any of your teams. If you've got players that want to come into the side, and look, he's a major part of our team. He's a major player in our formation and the way that we play. So look, it's great to have him back. You saw what happened. I know it wasn't just that against Leeds, but you see what happens when he does go off and the way that we control games. And he's a massive, massive player for us.
Three-man midfield, though, Lee Naylor. I mean, listen, Ruben Neves is a key player at any point. Is there a part of this that suggests to you that maybe he is not fully ready, and that's why they put him in as a 3 rather than a 2?
Maybe. I mean, at the end of the day, you want your best players out there on the pitch. If this is a game where he can get extra minutes in to get him back, maybe for coming games, then yeah, why not? For me, he's the midfield general in there. He's the one that makes you tick. He's obviously got the security with Dendoncker and Martinho in there as well. For me, it's a given that you put him in if he's fit.
What about the front players, though? Dropping Raul Jimenez is a big call.
It's a big shout, but we've struggled with goals. So can you really moan? I mean, it's one of those. He gives you all the effort. He gives you different dimensions. He's a threat in the air. But he's gone with Silva up there, and hopefully Silva can produce.
Tomo, it's a gamble, isn't it?
Look, you've got two players up front that. Silva has improved in the way that he's played his general play, but the big point is that he still hasn't scored, and that's the problem what we've had. So we've said this time and time again, you're judged on goals as a centre forward, and unfortunately he just hasn't produced. Look, there's no doubt about it, he's improved. There's no doubt about his link-up players improved, but inevitably it's going to have to be about goals, and it's got to be shown in the way that he plays. And look, I know Jimenez hasn't scored a great amount of goals. I'm still trying to work out why he was playing on the right wing last week. That's your number 9 that's playing right wing. So, for me, he's got to play down that central position in the midfield, up front. So I'm very surprised that they've changed that formation. They've left him out the side for Silva for one reason or another. Still very surprised Neto's not starting. I know he said he's not ready, but surely it must be better playing him 60 minutes, and then if he's not right, then take him off after that, rather than him being sub. I just think that Wang has struggled to get into games. We saw it last week. Referee keep waving him up, keep going to ground. I'm hoping that he's going to be a little bit more positive actually with the ball today, and hopefully he's going to be up there. But I would think that Dendoncker is going to be the link, isn't he, from midfield? I would think that he's going to be the one who's going to try and get up from there. Now they've got that security of Neves been playing in that middle role as well with Martinho. So,
just finally on the team news before we hear from Bruno Lee Naylor, is Johnny a bit hard done by? He'd scored in the last 2 home games. He had a chance to equal Henri. I mean, he still has the chance if he comes off the bench, but it's only Henri Camara that scored in 3 consecutive home Premier League games for Wolves, right back when you were in the team. I mean, goodness me, Johnny's on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, for me, since he got back into the team, I thought he always gives you 7, 8 out of 10. I think he's a bit unlucky, to be fair. He performs every week, and he's been scoring as well. So when you're giving it to with Ain't Nori saying he's more of attacking, well, he's the one been scoring. So it's probably a difficult one for him to take, but we'll see how it goes.
Right, we're going to hear from Bruno in a second, and whilst we whilst you watch that, we'll make sure that Lee Naylor puts his microphone to his mouth so we can hear him. But we have to go through. This is what I have to go through, everyone. I mean, if it wasn't for Tomo looking so good today,
leave it, Michael.
I'd be in such a bad mood. Here's Bruno Lage.
You've had 3 losses in the last 4 games. I mean, really, you probably should have won them all. And when you came off the pitch last week, you said my team keep making the same mistakes. Is it keeping you up at night now? Is it getting to that point?
Okay, that's the thing. When we come before the game, Burnley 6 games to go, I never talk about it. Let's go, and let's see what's going to happen until the end. But now we have 6 games in 20 days. So I challenge them now. We're in the final curve, the last 100 meters. We see the line in front of us. We need to go to fight for 6th and 7th position that can allow us to play European football. And I challenge them to, because they did before, and we can do it again. I'm not saying about the mistakes, but I'm saying that I'm watching this game 2 times from my team. That we are there, we are playing, we have everything under control. They go there, they score on goal, and after we don't have chances to score. If you watch our results since the first day, every time is there. It's 1-1, 1-0, and 2-1. Even when you look for our results, we have winnings and losses, and we don't have too much draw. So that's the kind of things that we draw. Okay, we don't have chance to score there, but we don't lose the game. So I think if it was in the beginning of the season, that's why we need to see also. Every time I come, and I say that because that's my feeling. I come here and I want to win. I want to challenge myself. I want to be better every day. I want to if I don't have Ruben, I look for Luke, and I see you need to do the same things that Ruben, and I really don't care. I want to play against them, and I don't change my strategy because I don't have 2 or 3 or 4 players like Ruben, and how important is Daniel for us, because we don't have Ruben and Daniel for us, and I want every time to be there. We don't have these players, but let's go. It's another opportunity for us to play our game. And in the end, we cannot forget that. These guys are important point for us. But I want to say one thing. It's when you look for the beginning, and I remember what people said about us, especially for the 3 games. If we will say Wolves will be in the middle of February fighting for Champions League, you're going to be in the middle of, or in the beginning of April, fighting for European League, and in the end you will finish 8th. No one's believe, right? So that's one thing. But now we are here. Let's go for a chance. Let's fight for that. Let's dream about that, and let's continue to work with that, because we are working in the same way. I continue to put the same pressure since the first day. I want more for my players. I'm preparing every time the next game what they could improve, because we have 1 more month of hard work in front of us.
Today we are back at Molineux for Wolves v Brighton, and we are today celebrating a big milestone at the club, our 300th Premier League game. Now, after back-to-back defeats on the road, today we need that home win to turn our fortune around as we go into the final 5 Premier League games of the season. 3 points here today would take us up to level on points with West Ham in the table and keep us in contention for those all-important European places come the end of the season. Now, we are unbeaten against Brighton in our last 6 meetings, with the last 2 going in Wolves' favour. Brighton are still comfortably sitting in 11th in the Premier League table, though, going into these final matches. Compared to our opponents last weekend, of course, Burnley fighting tooth and nail for survival in the Premier League. Our opponents today have slightly less at stake going into these final games, but they are still in good form, taking 7 points from their possible 12 in their last 4 matches. They drew with Southampton last time out, letting go of that 2-0 lead to split the points with Southampton when they got themselves back into the game for a 2-2 finish. But today at Molineux, we are also celebrating 1 pack week. The players are going to be wearing dedicated warm-up shirts, which you will also get your hands on in the Wolves Mega Store if you are joining us here today at Molineux after the game. So make sure you look out for those. And also our enamel pin badges, like the one I'm wearing here. But with a tough run of fixtures coming between now and the end of the season, The most important thing is that we build an incredible atmosphere here inside Molineux today to get behind Wolves and hopefully give us an afternoon to remember.
Well, we hope there is a positive result here this afternoon for Wolves, but they've got to start scoring some goals. And we thought we'd maybe try and use the views of two men who've been used to setting up goals, getting into those wide areas, and try and work out what's been going on, basically. We've put together a little montage of some of the opportunities from Turf Moor. Just want Tomo and Nails to basically have a watch of this and talk us through what's going on, because time and time again, Tomo, we got into good areas, but as you can see here, it's kind of deliver it, and then it's back again onto the right foot. And what's going on here? Is this a confidence thing? Is it something else?
Well, it must be something like that. But at the end of the day, it's like it's just decision making. So you're seeing there, he's made this opportunity for him to put the ball in with his left foot wang there, and he's still refused to actually do it. You just got to put it in there, because you look at your forwards as well. They've made that run already. And again, I'd like Silva to go onto his left to say, look, he's bringing everybody else back into the game for me on that. And I say it is having that confidence, but it's also, at the moment, we're just making the wrong decisions in that top third for me. I say, look, there's opportunities that we've got to put the ball in, and for whatever reason, we're not. And again, you're just watching the attack just break up again, and we've got to start to put that ball into the net. We've got to be looking to put it in an area. Niles will tell you, if you get an opportunity, out of your feet, can you put it into an air? Because I tell you what, your centre forwards know what's happening if you're actually doing that. Because at the minute we're just checking back, and we don't know if we're running or not, and already you're giving the advantage to the players getting beyond the ball.
Nails, what's your take on what's going on here?
Absolutely, I totally agree with Tomo. When it's about decision making, and obviously confidence can have a massive part on the decisions you do make. But when we get into good areas, just put it in there. There's players there, as you can see. We're getting numbers forward, but the ball's not coming. I mean, Jimenez, he lives off crosses, and I don't see many going in.
Yeah, because for me as well, I was listening to an interview this morning from Jimenez. It's about his headband swapping the size of it. He's had a smaller one. He hasn't scored a goal since he's come back with his head. And look, he's trying various ways to try and just get that right, and look whether or not it's a confidence thing or if it's just a supply. But you need to put the ball into the area to actually get his opportunity to score.
Are they overplaying as well?
Yeah, in one word, yeah. I think that they're having too much of the ball. Like I say, we're trying to score. It looks like we're trying to score that perfect goal all the time. Now, as a defender, if the ball's out and you put it out of your feet and you hit it across in a good area and put it into it, one, your centre forward knows where it's going to be or where it's going to go or where you're going to be looking to put it. But also as well, if a defender's running back towards his goal and you're putting the ball in there, he knows he's got to get something on it. He could end up scoring an own goal with it, or corner, or just getting something out of it. Because we're not doing it, we're allowing the defence to get themselves settled again, be able to mark and be able to defend the ball.
Is that coached, Nails, or is that a player's decision in that moment?
Yeah, I think we'll go back to decision making. When the coach will set out your formation, he'll go through the plan on match day. But when you're in that position, that's down to you. You've got to pull that trigger, and they're just not. As you say, they're overplaying. When there's a cross to be made, when there's a pass to be made, it's not coming. So that's down to personnel.
Just on the big screen at the moment, there is a picture and a warm round of applause for our friend and colleague Nigel Pearson, who sadly passed away since we last had a home game. He was a colleague for many, many years in the press box here at Molineux. He might have lent towards West Brom, but he certainly had an affinity with Wolverhampton Wanderers here. And Tomo and I mentioned it last weekend. He will be greatly missed around these parts. He was an incredibly generous, warm, kind human being. He was a great guy. Rest in peace, Big Nige. Let's have a look back at the last time these two teams met, a little bit earlier on in the season, and it was a pretty special goal that settled things just before Christmas.
And here comes Mwepu onto Solly March, right inside of the penalty area, and he smashes it wide. Now for Neves. Neves might line up one from distance. Good effort. Well saved though by Sanchez, who parried it down and grabbed it at the second attempt. Marçal whipping it low to the near post. Comes to the edge of the area. Neves with one touch. Tries to lift it back in. Lovely stuff. Oh, what a goal! Stunning finish from Romain Saiz. And Wolves are in front in stoppage time at the end of the first period. And it is a world-class pass from Ruben Neves that clipped it into him, and Romain Saiz kept his cool, kept his composure, and found the bottom corner. Moda's delivery from the free kick, it's bouncing awkwardly. Oh, great save by Jose Sarr, and missed from close range, point blank. Traore waits in the box, it's clipped in brilliantly. Here's Marçal, and he loops it goalwards, it's off the crossbar. Now can Traore use his speed? Just being held up a touch, Trincao making the run ahead of him. It's on for Trincao into the penalty area. Oh, wide of the left-hand post. There was a touch on it on the way through. Left-footed cross hits Basuma, comes out to Neves. That's a lovely ball in by Neves, just off the head of Burn. Smashed goalwards and somehow cleared away from the hit by Romain Saiz. Dispossessed by Matinho, Trincao off the chest. Here's Matinho. Wolves have options forwards. It's Daniel Pedence into the area. Pedence on his left foot. Good save by Sanchez. And there's a Brighton player slipped, and Wolves have 3-on-1. It's Traore to Pedence to his right. Pedence into the area, striking it low and striking it straight at Sanchez. Neves finding Traore 25 yards from goal. Good ball to Semedo into the area. Semedo's low ball. No one there to tap it home.
So Wolves got the benefit with that win over Brighton in December. They had never done a Premier League double over Brighton. Can they do it today? I don't think they've done a league double at all. It's only the 38th ever meeting between these two teams, which seems weird, but they've just spent so much time in different divisions. What about Brighton then? I'll come to you first, Nails, because they started the season really, really well and then just seem to have kind of tailed off a bit. They've hung on in there around mid-table, but you never quite know what you're going to get from them.
I think that's what they do. I mean, they're really good in possession. They're a good passing team. They can hurt anyone on their day, but they just haven't got enough to keep doing that consistently over the season. That's why I think today's game is going to be brilliant. But two teams that love having the ball and dominating the ball, and hopefully we get to see a few goals.
Tomo, what have you made of them?
Yeah, so like I think there's probably a bit of a better side away from home, Brighton, but so like it's always tough games against Brighton. So we went down there, so it was a class goal with a great ball from Neves for Saiz to score, but it's all about making sure that you take the game to Brighton, because I think that Brighton are an unpredictable side. I think that the way that they play, they can hurt you. So like if you let them have time on the ball, let them get out of ball, play around, especially in that top third for them, where they can cause problems. They've got some quality players, but probably somebody through the squad is something that's probably going to also hurt them as the season's gone on, because they started really well. They started the season where you're thinking, oh, hang on a minute, this could be a team that could be pushing up there consistently, but they faded a little bit, so results went against them. Similar to us. I know we didn't start great and they did, but so like they lose games that you don't think they're going to lose.
That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're a bit like us. So like you think that the games that they go into, oh, they're going to get a result out here, and they don't. Come up against the better teams, and for whatever reason, they seem to play decent against us. They've always been tight games, apart from the 3-3 that we had. But look, so it's going to be a difficult game. He's done brilliant as a manager, Potter, since he's gone there. He's changed the philosophy about the way that they play. And look, say, they're very similar to us, as I said. They're very similar to the way that we play.
It's funny, isn't it, when you have a manager, Lee Naylor, who kind of goes under the radar a bit as Graham Potter. I was listening into a conversation between some national journalists in the press room beforehand, and they were kind of talking about where Graham Potter's next move was. And they kind of seemed to be going like, yeah, maybe Leicester's the next step up for him. And I'm thinking Brighton's a big club and he's done a brilliant job. And why is he not being talked about in terms of the top six?
Yeah, I mean, because they see him as a top manager, and I'm sure for a manager it's great to hear. For them, their infrastructure down there, it's an amazing place. I know their training ground's absolutely magnificent down there. All their facilities have been put in place to try and get to that, top half of the table. And I'm sure he can see that. It's nice to be mentioned. But I think for him, he's got a job to do at Brighton, and his mind's fully on that.
It's going to be a tough game today. We will look back in a moment at the meeting between these two here last season that had plenty of drama towards the end of the campaign. We'll also get the boys' predictions as well. But let's hear a little bit from Raul Jimenez on Wolves' recent form.
How do you feel about your own form at the moment?
Yeah, I feel good. I know I can give more to the team. I know it's a matter of time to do it better. I know I haven't been scoring too much this season, but I know it's there. So it's just time. It's a matter of time to come out again.
Do you have to stay patient with yourself, because you did go through so much? We all saw it. Do you have to stay patient with yourself in terms of, getting back to I don't know, do you feel back to your best yet?
Yeah, I feel really good. I know, as you said, the patience, the confidence, I can never lose those things. I think they are very important part in a footballer's career. So I need to stay confident and be sure that I'm gonna be there again.
Raul Jimenez on what's been happening last couple of games. He, of course, amongst the substitutes today. I wonder if that changes your thoughts on your prediction, Tomo.
No, I still think that Wolves are better at home. I think the Wolves, with the backing of the crowd, will get a victory today. But I think it'll be a close match. I'm going to go, rather than a 2-1, I'm going to go 1-0, Matt. I'm going to steal your result.
Oh, okay. Lee Naylor, what are you thinking?
I've already gone for a 2-1. I had a conversation with Gemma earlier, and I mentioned 2-1, so I'll stick to that.
The only prediction I'm going to make is that quite a few people in this stadium are going to swoon when they see this handsome devil. Look at him. I don't know, I might find that too high. There you go. Look at him. What a guy.
Oh. Look at $1 million here.
Yeah, look at that. Modelling a laptop.
Love that. So I'll frame that. I'm gonna keep on a frame that. I'll take it home with me.
Scare the kids.
I'll tell you what, he looks good, doesn't he? Where let me just show you this though, because when we were practicing a little bit earlier, that is what was greeted on our screen.
Okay,
he's a nightmare.
Okay,
mate.
that's
he's a
it.
nightmare.
I'm gonna come with some ammunition next week. That's it.
Oh dear. Honestly, you can tell we're getting towards the end of the season, can't you? Who knows what's going to happen? But hopefully it's going to be an impressive game. Who's going to stand out for you, Tomo? Who are you looking at? Is Fabio Silva going to end his long wait? It's West Brom at the back in the last season.
Well, I hope so. But like I say, I think you got to look at Neves coming back into the side, haven't you? Is he going to make a difference to the team? Well, you would think so. The way that he plays, the way that he orchestrates that middle area of the pitch. So I'm hoping that he's going to give Silva opportunities to get on the score sheet. And again, maybe he might get that goal himself today. But Neves, I think he's going to, for me, coming back into the side, I think he's going to do well.
1 point, Lee Naylor, just before we finish. My colleague Mike Taylor, who sits behind me, actually made a great point. Fabio Silva's not actually scored a goal for Wolves in front of a crowd. They were all behind closed doors last season, which is crazy when you think about it. I mean, surely...
It's not a great stat to have, is it?
No.
Unfortunately, that comes along with the team at the minute, a crowd.
Surely today's got to be the day, right?
I just think, I hope so, but for me, it's going to be won and lost in the midfield for me. I think both teams have got really good midfielders. Bissouma and the young lad Moises Caicedo, who I actually put into Wolves a maybe year and a half ago, who I think is a fantastic player. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. But hopefully Silva can come up with the goods.
Right, Lee Naylor, myself, and Cannock's answer to Paul Hollywood are going to be doing full radio commentary at wolves.co.uk and via the Wolves app. I'm in so much trouble after this. I'll tell you what, look at his face already. We're going to be doing full radio commentary for you on the website and the app in a couple of minutes' time, after you've taken a look at the meeting between these two here last season, which had plenty of drama.
And it was a powerful header and it's headed in. And just like that, the set piece works wonders again for Brighton. It's Lewis Dunk, the captain. Here's Fabio Silva now. Then Fabio Silva was surely dragged back. And that could be
He's off.
a red card. It is. The Brighton captain is sent off. Lewis Dunk has gone.
Got to go.
Gibbs White. Wide to Ait-Nouri on the left-hand side. Being shown back in field here, Ryan Ait-Nouri. Finding Vitinha. In towards Adama Traore. Traore in towards the edge of the box. Knee play! Oh, brilliant goal! Adama Traore gets Wolves level. That's superb football. Some of the best Wolves have produced all game. Lovely neat interplay inside the penalty area. And Adama Traore found his way through. Wolves 1, Brighton 1. Gibbs White tracking with him. Wide out against that Ryan side, and Williams shows they're putting pressure on, and the ball played back towards Traore, and the goalkeeper came out, and Traore didn't know where it was, and he's got to the loose ball now. He needs support to arrive. It's back to Gibbs White, who hits it over the top. Oh my word, what a chance. Hoover for Traore, infield to João Moutinho. João Moutinho now finding Gibbs White. Back to Dendoncker, 30 yards from goal, out to the left-hand side to Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri trying to dribble against Moda, gets past him, low cross, deflects towards Gibbs White, gets over the second chance! Yes. Morgan Gibbs White finds the top corner! It's a special moment for him, and it could be a match-winning one at Molineux. Wolves 2, Brighton 1. He missed a big opportunity a few moments ago. He would not miss this one. Morgan Gibbs White with his first league goal may well have just won the game. Wolves 2, Brighton 1. What entertainment at the end of the season.